Hello drivers! Once again a video to talk about the Driver live action adaptation by Bitch.com, but today I'm also going to ask for your opinion in the comments, as we are going to discuss our wish list of items we would like to see features in the TV series. I think it could be a very interesting discussion because even within the core group of fans that constitute the Driver community, we don't all agree on everything, starting with the announcement itself of the live action series and its reception. However, I don't want to discuss this today and rather go a step further and list the elements that I feel need to be in the series to make it the best it can be from my perspective. And if you want to give your views on this in the comments, that would be wonderful. First of all, I would like to know how to properly reference the project without having to use live action adaptation series, as this becomes redundant very quickly. A subtitle will be the most convenient to be distinctive enough, but then the question becomes, what could be this subtitle? It could be related to the script, depending on Bitch plans, the origin of John Tanner, an important event, etc. Or the name of the city the series will be mostly taking place in, but that will be the easy way out. In the meantime, I might refer to the project as Driver TV series, even if that's not going to be aired on a traditional TV channel, but I'm already tired to say live action adaptation series, even if that's not much longer. Secondly, and this is also the point that pushed me to record this video, I would really like us to see practical stunts instead of CGI stunts. And I thought that would be the point where we would all agree, but comments from one of my previous videos showed I was wrong to assume the Driver community feeling on this point, because maybe some of you prefer classic cars to remain intact and not be destroyed in the filming process. In my opinion, CGI stunts will always look too much fake to be believable, and that's a big problem for a show about driving and cop chases. I'm not expecting to have chases and big stunts involving crash and explosions in every episode. That's why I hope that the few of them will be qualitative, which can only be achieved in my opinion with real stunts, like the Driver 3 live action teaser did very well. Also, if you watch or read interviews of Martin Edmondson, the creator of the Driver video game series, he will always tell you that practical stunts are the things that make a great movie about car chases, alongside an editing that doesn't rely too much on quick takes to give the impression of speed, while it ends up more confusing for the spectator than anything else. It will be said that the live-action adaptation will not follow the vision of the original creator, but we will see. This last statement leads me to my next wishes, starting with fan service. I know this expression is usually used negatively, but I wish to see a few references to the own Driver pop culture in the TV show. For example, it would be awesome to get a Jack Kuvela cameo, as he is the one that lends his face to the pedestrian character of the PlayStation 1 Driver games. It would be awesome to see him making an appearance as a pedestrian in one episode without too much emphasis to not make the Easter egg too obvious. The same goes with the famous interview garage tutorial that was already reused for the teasing of the Driver San Francisco game, but is one of the strongest memories of the game when you talk to people who played it 20 years ago. As I talk about him, getting Martin Edmondson involvement as a consultant for the show might also be a good idea. That's how his involvement started for Driver San Francisco before he became the creative director of the game. He was even consulted about the Driver game from Ubisoft Montreal before the project became Watch Dogs. Since Martin Edmondson made the Driver video game series to reflect his memories of going to the cinema watching movies with great car chases, his involvement could bring a lot of great ideas in the brainstorming sessions at Binge and Ubisoft Film and Television department, just like we are doing today as fans. Moving forward, soundtracks are also a very important part of the Driver video game series, and I'm hoping to feel the same passion in the TV show. Obviously, I'm expecting the tracks to be in the funky 70s style, but that will also depend on the angle and settings chosen by Bitch.com in this matter. In any case, it would be awesome to get Alistair Brimble involved in the project, as he is the composer of the original PlayStation 1 Driver 1 game soundtracks and the main theme of the Driver Syndicate. A new theme song or chase music made by Brimble for the TV show would be both a good idea and fan service done the right way. About the cast, we do not have any information right now, but Binged asked for our opinion on Twitter and Instagram, so I can recommend you one more time to share your opinion on their social medias. Cast is linked to the storyline, so we don't know yet if Jones, Jericho or other characters will return. We only know that Tanner is confirmed. And I don't really have a specific actor to play him in mind because each appearance of Tanner in the video game series were different. The actor should be in the same type of look, of course. Speaking of this, I don't know how Tanner's outfit should be, but if done right, the suit could be a subtle hint to Driver 2, acting as fanservice in a few scenes where Tanner has to be classy, for example. On the story itself, I can only hope for a good treatment of the driver spirit, undercover plot, serious tone and big stake that don't scare Tanner. The story should be set in a US city as they are the main environment in the video games, even if we got European and South American cities in the past with La Havana, Rio, Nice and Istanbul, but the TV series should at least start in the United States and maybe have the action moving from cities to cities following the undercover plot and crime syndicate motions. And that's it for my wish list. As I said in the beginning, I really want your opinion, whether on a specific point or on all of them, in the comments. Which actors would you like to see? What type of stunts do you want fan service or not? The track vibes, the decades the action will take place in, the cameo you want or other Easter eggs put to be found. Maybe there are other points that I forgot to talk about but that you feel are important to mention, and you can even share which direction you really not want the TV show to take. I would like to thank my Red Weavers that are supporting the channel, DriverDimension.com, French Contact, Neurosins, Tankonan YouTube, Paul Lanois, Emmett McLaughlin, Al520i. You can also support the channel by clicking on the blue join button below the video, and in any case, see you soon, drivers!